Hey guys and girls, YouTube land, it's just me, Jamie, and it's 4:54 in the morning. The baby woke up. She's really congested from teething or something. We started daycare last week so she could have a cold. But I couldn't go back to sleep, so here I am. I'm probably gonna go in there and lay back down in a little bit. I just don't want to wake Scott up because he's got to wake up early for work. So, as you can see, I'm seeing the effects of my poor eating habits on my skin, and it kind of sucks. But anyway, I got up and had some eggs. I made 4 eggs. That's probably like 2.5 that are left. So, um, I always end up making too many. Sometimes I can finish them, but it takes me a really long time. Like I have to just be sitting here and watching TV or studying and eating, but I just don't. It's my indigestion has gotten so bad I can't really finish a full meal anymore. Not often, at least. So, just a quick update. I don't remember where I left off. I haven't gone back and watched my videos in a while. But I went to Dr. Ferrari's office, Dr. Carlos Ferrari, back in April, on April 4th. Had a leg ultrasound done. I'm sorry, my ADD medicine, I haven't taken it today yet, so I'm going to go all over the place. I might take a while and I might ramble. Anyway, so I had a leg ultrasound done to check for DVT from some swelling that I had and some bruising. I did not have DVT. Had an EGD done. My sleeve is in good condition. It has not overly stretched beyond what would normally stretch for someone for 2 years out. So that's good. He did find a hiatal hernia. He believes it might have been there when I had my surgery before, and that it just kind of got worse and fully popped out or opened up during my pregnancy weight gain. Overall, during my pregnancy, I gained 60 pounds, lost 30 after the baby was born, and then immediately kind of leveled out at that 230-pound mark. I've been hanging around 230 to 235 for the last 3 months. And there's a reason for that, unfortunately. And I know why. I know why I regained. Everybody looks up on YouTube how to stop regain or why does regain happen or blah, 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 blah. I know why. I'm not naive enough to think that this just happened thanks to the pregnancy. Some of it was pregnancy related, but that pregnancy related weight is gone now, so it's no longer an excuse. I gained the additional 30 pounds because I ate poorly and I didn't make good choices and I overate at times. And I still overeat, not intentionally, it just happens. But I need to get better about that. I think the first step to making a permanent change is knowing and recognizing when you're going back into old habits, and you can't just say, oh, I just gained the 30 pounds or just gained the 60 pounds or whatever. It's not an excuse. You didn't just do it. You made decisions that led back to each pound of that coming back on. That was me. I'm accepting it and I'm moving on with it. So to move on with that, I went to Dr. Ferrari, had those first 2 tests done. After about 3 or 4 days of having done my EGD, I called in because I hadn't heard from his office yet and said, hey, what is the plan? What are we going to do? I was told when I initially went in from one of his office staff that they were so nice. I didn't have any problems. Everybody was so nice and encouraging, and so I didn't have any issues with them or anything at that point. But one of the women had said, oh, your insurance doesn't really have any requirements. You just have to meet this BMI, and you do, and so this should be a pretty quick process. So after about 3 days, I called them just to check in and see what we needed to do next because I hadn't heard anything. And was told that my insurance did have requirements. There was 5 of them that I had to meet. I had to see a psychiatrist, a cardiologist, have blood work done, have an echocardiogram done, and meet with a dietitian. I've done all of those things. They sent me that. I called them on like a Thursday. They mailed me the paperwork. I got it on a Monday. And it was all of the referral paperwork, basically. I called all of those doctors on Friday to I called one of them on Friday to set up an appointment. The other ones I called once I got the paperwork on Monday. I don't remember the exact date. It was like, I had my echo done on like the 8th or the 9th. And then at the end of that week is when I called them. So that Monday, it was like maybe the 15th, I think, of April. So I made all those appointments. I'd already scheduled my psychiatrist, like I said, because I was going to get checked out for ADD at the time, so I was already ready to go see her. Um, and she was willing to do the clearance at that point, the psychiatric clearance. So I went and did my, like I said, I did my EGD. I went in and saw my psychiatrist. I went and saw my cardiologist. I saw them like within a day of each other. I went and did my cardiac clearance, did my echocardiogram, and I did my lab work. I did the dietitian visit, the lab work visit, and the echo all in the same day, which was the end of April. I think I did those on the 29th, and then I saw
April 30th is the last day of April, and it falls on a Thursday
echo
in 2020.
off. That is so creepy. I didn't ever say anything about that word, didn't say anything to acknowledge it. Anyway, then I went to, the cardiologist and that's what it was. I said ECHO for my heart scan. Anyway, jeez. At least she's listening. That threw me off. So I saw the cardiologist and I saw the psychiatrist on a Monday and a Tuesday the week prior to my other 3 things that I had done that I just mentioned, that I won't mention again so that the thing won't go off. So I had those things done. The 29th was the last day of everything. I waited about 4 or 5 days before I called and talked to everybody at the doctor's office. No, I'm sorry. On the 29th, I went by in between one of my appointments with the last, I think it was right before my last appointment, because I had to pay them like $30 or something like that for a bill that I had due, and I didn't want to have an outstanding balance and have that keep me from doing surgery. So I went by, and in the middle of paying, I said, hey, I just wanted to verify while I'm here, did you get the paperwork from my cardiologist and from my psychiatrist, everything else I'm doing today? Oh, no, we haven't gotten any of your paperwork. Okay, well, that's weird because I've been working with my psychiatrist for many, many years. And I know that, because she's my daughter's psychiatrist, I know that her secretary is really good about sending paperwork out. They don't, if I ask them for something, they send it right away within 24 hours minimum. Anyway, so that was just weird to me. So I said, that doesn't sound right. So I called them, left them a message, and then she said, oh, no, wait, here it is. She dug through some paperwork on the counter. It wasn't even in my file, and found the letter from my cardiologist clearing me for that. So I was a little irritated with them that they didn't have that in the right place. Because to me, if you have paperwork for any kind of a client or a patient or somebody, you shouldn't leave it just laying around. It needs to be in their file right away. That way, whenever you go to send their paperwork off, it's all in the same place. But that's just me, and that's just common sense, and it just seems like it's a HIPAA problem leaving things laying out like that, because things get lost, things get misplaced, and you could put someone else's paperwork in the wrong patient's folder or send it home with the wrong patient. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Anyway, so I went ahead and verified that she read to me that I was cleared for surgery on my cardiologist paperwork. And then my psychiatrist secretary called me back and said, no, I sent it. I sent it on this date. And she goes, I can highlight where your approval is at on the little letter that she wrote, and I can resend it. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much. And I called as soon as I hung up with her and let his office know that my psychiatrist secretary was resending the paperwork, and that if they did not get it that day, I needed them to call me and let me know so that I could call the secretary and make sure that she was using the right number. And she was using the one that was on the top of the paperwork that they gave me, so it shouldn't have been a problem. And I know that the other tests should have arrived because they were done through the hospital system that the office uses. So they had direct access to my file through that, so that wasn't an issue. Anyway, so we went and waited, I think I waited like 5 or 6 days after I finished those last procedures so that my blood work could go through. And I called Dr. Ferrari's office and was told that they hadn't received all my paperwork yet. And I was like, that's not correct because I did all of my last 3 appointments the day I came to visit you guys. You told me you had the cardiologist paperwork. They told me they hadn't gotten my cardiologist paperwork is what it was, the one I called after those 5 or 6 days. And I said, that's bullcrap. I said, I know that because you sat there and read to me my approval letter directly in front of my face, verbatim from the letter that I was approved. And I said, so I know you have it unless you misplaced it again. And she said, hold on 1 second. She put me on hold for like 3 or 4 minutes, came back and said, oh, here it is. I found it. It's right here. And she goes, well, I'll go ahead and get everything signed off by the doctor and we'll send it away. Okay, cool. So you would think after about, at least I'd say, because here I am knowing that my patient has been waiting for me to submit this, I'm going to go ahead and take this and make it a priority and send it out. So I waited till the next day, and that might be a little naive of me to think that they would send it out that quick, but that's what I would think if they were a good office. And I don't mean to say that against Dr. Ferrari because he's been wonderful, but if his office staff were competent and caring about their clients and their patients, that would be a priority to me personally. But that didn't happen. So I called my insurance the next day to say, hey, did you guys get the paperwork from his office? They said no. So I turned around and called the office again and said, hey, they still haven't gotten anything from you guys. And it's been, I did my last tests like 5 or 6, or actually about 7 days ago now. So it's been a week. And then you told me you didn't have all my paperwork. And now you do. So you have it all. So what's going on? And she's like, oh, we just have to do it through this process and we'll get it done, I promise. So I let it go and I waited another 4 or 5 days. And every time I would call my insurance first and ask them. And my insurance was always like, no, we didn't get it. It took them about 3 or 4 weeks to send my paperwork out, guys. I was flipping ridiculously frustrated. I was so mad. Anyway, they submitted it within a few days. It was denied because the code was wrong. They used a code that was unacceptable. So they called me. This is the first time that Dr. Ferrari's office called me back without me having to call them on my own. And she said, Ms. Clifford, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you got denied surgery. They denied it for, what would they say? She tried to say it was something with my paperwork. There was something wrong with my paperwork and that the code was wrong as well. And so I called insurance and said, hey, look, you guys denied my surgery. My doctor's office is saying that it's because of something was wrong with my paperwork and also because of the code. And I said, is there something that I need to get as far as the paperwork goes? What is the problem with the paperwork? Was there something that I didn't meet criteria? And they said, no, it's nothing with you. The paperwork's fine. It's just that the code is wrong. They used the wrong code. Well, when I spoke with the coordinator, she said that was the only code they could use. And insurance was like, no, we give them a list. They said, we sent you like a list of approved codes. And as long as they use one of those codes, we'll accept it. You're a prime candidate for it. We have no problems approving you. It's just they need to use a different code. So I was really frustrated. But the doctor's office said they were going to put in an appeal. So you would think when they do that they're going to use a different code. They didn't. They used the same stinking code. And I got denied again. So I got another phone call. Miss Clifford, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but your appeal, or your last time we submitted it got denied, so we're going to put in an appeal. It can take up to 30 days. Okay, fine. Not a problem. I'll give you the 30 days. No big deal. And you would think when they put that in, this is the third time now that you're having to redo something because of the code that you're trying to use. But they used the same code. And within a week or two, it got denied again. So here we are, like June 19th. And I still have no surgery and no surgery date. No further information. I called them last week. It was like the beginning. I think it was like July 1st, which was a Monday. And I got told, no, that's a lie. I'm sorry. It was like Wednesday or Thursday of no, it was Wednesday. I'm so sorry. It was my last day off. I called them on Wednesday, which was like July 3rd, and said, hey, what's going on? I just need an update. And they said, well, we haven't gotten any letter from your insurance yet, which has been like 2 weeks since I got the denial again from the appeal. I said, we haven't got any paperwork from your insurance company. We haven't got any letters, no faxes, no nothing. I said, okay, well, I haven't either, which is weird because usually they'll send like a customer copy. I haven't gotten that either. So let me call them. So I called them. Insurance said I don't have anything that I can pull right now, and that department is closed, but I'll put in an escalation, and within 72 hours, your doctor's office will have a letter explaining everything, and that they would mail me a copy of it too. So it's Monday. It's been, the holiday. I don't know if insurance would need that holiday, but it's been that 72 hours, and then I gave them today because of the holiday. And so I'll call Dr. Ferrari's office and let them know about this. But in the meantime, I'm kind of toying with the idea of just going and seeing one of these other doctors. It's ridiculous. I need to make sure that it gets taken care of, and I'm almost ready to make another appointment with Dr. Ferrari and go talk to him about the situation, because it's unacceptable to me that it's taken this long. I'm not an expert in medical coding. I've never worked in a medical office other than when I was in high school for a volunteer program for high school credits, but I do know that there's a level of patient care that your patient deserves, and I shouldn't have had to make as many phone calls to them as I have. They should have been the ones calling me. I don't expect them to call me every 5 minutes, but it would be nice to know what's going on with my case. So, even if they had just a patient access system where it shows where you're at with your progress for your request for surgery, but that's not happening either. And oh man, my indigestion is horrible. I'm so sorry. That's the worst part of this, is that I'm uncomfortable. I didn't know I had a hernia before, but I've always had the reflux. And now that I know that there's a problem that's causing the reflux, I want to take care of that. I'm uncomfortable, and it doesn't keep me from eating, but it keeps me from eating stuff that I should be eating, because I'm just eating quick stuff so that I can just get it over with. The reflux is going to come no matter what I do. And so I'm just making quick decisions for fast food, like that will go down faster so that I can get what I want or what I need in my system. Sorry. I can't lose any more weight at this point. I can't sit here and try to lose weight, because if I lose more than, I'm 233 right now because I had this already. So if I lose more than, let's see, 230, 4, 29, 28, 27, 26. I can't lose more than 8 pounds. If I lose more than 8 pounds, I'm below the BMI that my insurance will allow to have the surgery. So I'm really frustrated because I can't do anything in the meantime. Like if I were heavier, I could sit here and I could diet and go on my pre-op diet from before and be fine. But if I do that, I could lose too much weight. So that's really frustrating. The only thing I can think of is to go back on my pre-op diet, and just have my protein shakes throughout the day, and then go eat regular dinner at night and not do healthy food for dinner, just so my caloric intake is higher. But right now I'm just maintaining my weight because I can't eat the better foods, because if I eat the better foods, I'm going to lose weight and I won't get to have the surgery. And I know that sounds stupid, but I know that if I eat healthy, I'm going to lose that 30 pounds that I gained, but then I'm going to level out again. If you look back at my other videos, my weight kind of stalled out between October and April. October 2017 and April 2018 when I got pregnant. I was stuck at like 195 pretty much that whole time and hadn't lost any more. And I was eating every now and then. We would go out and eat dinner, or I would have dinner at work and I would eat stuff that I shouldn't, but it wasn't like it is now. It wasn't anywhere near like it was during my pregnancy. During my pregnancy, I ate everything. But I mean, it's ridiculous. I really want to lose the weight, and I feel stuck. And for the last 3 months, I could have been working really hard to do it if they had just gotten me approved. I could have already had the surgery at this point if they had just used the code that insurance is okay with using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through my insurance paperwork and look at the codes that they could use, and I'm going to make an appointment with Dr. Ferrari if I call them today and they still haven't heard from insurance. And I'm going to say, look, your office keeps using these codes, and this is why I'm getting denied for surgery. I'm trying to do this, and I can't do anything else, because if I eat any better, I'm going to lose weight, but I won't be able to lose down to what I need to have my skin removal done. And see what he says. And then if he can't make it work, then I'm just going to have to see a different surgeon. And that's unfortunate. Hopefully he'll be able to work with me, because I have never heard anything but good things about him. It's always his office staff I hear complaints about. But that's my update. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life. I'm super busy. I'm in grad school for family couples, marriage couples, and family counseling. I'm working my normal job, and I've got 2 kids with medical conditions. Phoenix just started daycare. She's been sick several times over the last couple of months. Luckily, it hasn't taken us to the hospital yet. So I'm just trying to make sure we keep her healthy as long as we can. And then we've got stuff going on with Hannah, but she's getting better. It's just very intensive treatment that we have to go to for her. So life has been crazy. I don't know what I would do without Scott. He's been amazing. But that is my update, guys, and I will let you go. Thank you for listening if you're still listening. Bye.